Hello and welcome to Too Ugly for Radio, the podcast that goes bread, then hot dog, then onions, and that's the way it's supposed to be. My name is Craig, and welcome to a very festive episode, where today I am joined by...
Jeff, the real MVP.
Jeff, I've got some news about this podcast for you. We have to do a really good one. And I don't mean quality-wise, I mean we can't make any mistakes, because this podcast should have been out several days ago. I've only just started recording it, so I don't really have time to edit out a lot of stuff.
The time is 11:38.
And Jeff and I have just finished watching Netflix's new original Christmas movie, The Christmas Chronicle. Did you like it, Jeff?
I mean, it was pretty good. I don't know who the target audience was, because it went from, being your classic kids' Christmas movie, but then also down some very dark passages, and possibly innuendo.
Yeah, no, I felt the same thing. Like, there's that scene where they go into, like, the mob house, and it's just, like, all these gritty, down-to-earth criminals, and, like, let's chuck this boy in the furnace. And then there's just some really over-the-top, cheesy moments, like, Santa's elves, which are just, like, furry minions from Despicable Me, and then they start flossing.
Yeah.
But, no,
I hated them.
I really liked this film. I thought it was good. It's
I hated the elves.
one of the, like, better recent Christmas movies, but that won't stop us from tearing it to shreds.
No, it won't. And I mean, there's some good holes to tear at.
Let's do what we attempted to do last time, and we'll start at the beginning of the plot. We'll pick it apart as we go. Only this time we don't have Mona to remember the film for us.
My first note is Elf on the Shelf.
Oh, look, this is going to be full of spoilers for The Christmas Chronicle.
Yeah.
So if you haven't seen it, this will be confusing, and also just full of spoilers. So either watch it or buckle up for something that won't make much sense.
Don't listen to a podcast about a show that you're planning on watching and then be upset about spoilers.
But yeah, like, one of the first moments in the film is the two kids are like, we are going to catch Santa on camera. And so as they're setting up the trap to catch him on tape, the little girl blindfolds Elf on the Shelf.
That was something.
Did you know they've updated Elf on the Shelf?
No, but I just remember it being a thing last Christmas.
Yeah, well, like, it's been a thing in America for ages, and then recently they've like, hey, let's sell it in New Zealand as well. But as soon as they brought it to New Zealand, it's outdated. I was in the shop the other day, and you can get the modern Elf on a Shelf, which is just like a security camera with a little red light that shows it's recording. You stick on the roof. It's just like a festive-themed security light.
Is it intention to be security, or is it to make sure that the kids are being nice?
It just lets the kids know they're being watched.
I mean, and that's important. It's important to let your kids know that you don't trust them.
Well, fair enough. Like, the kids in this film, like, opens with the boy stealing a car.
How old's this kid?
I don't know.
15? 14?
Like,
actually, no, well, we, if we remembered the beginning of the movie better, we would have been able to tell, wouldn't we?
There was dates and things, but maths is for nerds.
2006 was the first year, which you hated on. 2006 being a year.
Yeah, and
was 2006 the first year? No, 2006 was the first year.
First one they recorded.
First video.
But yeah, the kid's probably like 16.
Yeah, probably something like that.
And yeah, he goes out with his mates, and like they're all looking super dodgy. They're going down an alley with their skateboards. I'm like, they're gonna go sell some drugs. But no, they just steal a car instead.
Yeah, classic teenage hijinks, stealing cars.
And the little girl follows them out with like the 1990s VHS recorder and just films them doing it. That's a quality VHS recorder as well. The fact that it's lasted this long.
Yeah, and it's doing well.
Yeah.
Survived a fight with the brother.
One of my first gripes with this film, they try to catch Santa on camera. Shouldn't that automatically put you on the naughty list?
Yeah, well, just trying to. Whether or not you're successful or not is the intent, surely.
Santa's made it very clear he doesn't want to be seen.
Because they've already caught him on his hand on camera, and that's what starts this whole thing. Remember?
Catching his hand on camera was creepy.
Yeah.
Because we saw like the recording on the VHS tape. It was like watching Paranormal Activity, and you just see the flash of this pale, blurry hand come on screen. Looks like he's only got like 4 really long fingers.
Yeah. I'd be uncomfortable.
It was weird because like every once in a while in this film you'd see it first-person view from the camcorder's perspective, and it was like we were watching Cloverfield or something.
Yeah. Well, that's how it started. But that girl was quite intense, really.
I found, yeah, good.
Yeah. Don't know if there's really, we could go into specifics, but
If they wanted specifics, I'd probably listen to a quality
yeah,
podcast.
not a pretty alright production.
But yeah. So they decided to catch Santa on camera. So like we're gonna set up like all these trick cameras. We're gonna hide a camera in the doorknob, and then we're gonna stay up all night to catch him in the act. And it's like, first of all, you're trying to catch him on camera, so you'll be on the naughty list, so Santa won't come. Second of all, what's the point of staying up all night if you're just gonna film him anyway? Plus, Santa knows when you're asleep, so if he sees you downstairs with a camera, he's not gonna come in.
Yeah. But I mean, he did, though, in the end.
Yeah,
But they were sleeping.
yeah.
But their traps woke them up. So, what they then do after that, they hear him on the roof.
Yeah, they hear him on the roof, and all of a sudden,
Which was also intimidation, really.
it was scary. Like, it switched to a horror film all of a sudden. But it also reminded me this is exactly how Tim Allen's The Santa Claus begins.
Yeah. And chases them off the roof and kills them. And that's how you become Santa.
Yeah.
But this time, Santa doesn't die. Not yet, anyway. You'll have to keep on listening to find out.
So yeah, then the kids like jump into Santa's sleigh.
How bad an idea is that? Like, at this stage, you're like, okay, yeah, Santa's real, all of this stuff is real. I'm going to jump into the back of a magical sleigh that can travel around the world in much faster than light speed.
We did the math, and by we did the math, I mean I googled it. The fastest airplane ever built, the SR-71 Blackbird, can do Mach 3.5. That's 3.5 times the speed of sound. Santa's sleigh would have to do Mach 3000.
Yeah. So,
Mark? Moth.
Mark.
No one's going to pull me up
Yeah.
on that.
But what were they thinking? Well,
They're like, we've got Santa on camera, we filmed his flying sleigh and reindeer in the street, but this video footage isn't going to be credible unless I get an interior shot of the sleigh.
yeah. So, obviously, the predictable thing happens. Santa comes back, and off he goes, not realising that there's a couple of kids in the back. I mean, he's an all-powerful magical being. How did he not realise? But, glossing over that.
He did it intentionally, though.
Yeah.
He kidnapped those kids to take them on a journey so they'd learn the true meaning of Christmas.
To the mean streets of Chicago.
And then, so he flies off with them. They're in the back of the
Oh
sleigh.
yeah, and she falls out.
But even
Did
before that...
Did Santa have that plan? Were they like, yes, I'm going to make her fall out, terrify her, and then maybe she'll learn her lesson?
What better way to teach them the true meaning of Christmas than giving them a near-death experience? You will appreciate life more after this.
Well, I mean, it worked, didn't it?
The thing is, they're flying along in the sleigh. They almost collide with a Boeing that's flying past, which means they are way up there. The girl's like, I'm freezing. It's like, yeah, you should be freezing. Like, some planes would ice over at this temperature.
Actually, just breathing up there.
That's the thing. Like, how are you breathing at this altitude?
Is it magic?
I mean, I guess a lot of these things in the film could be explained by it's magic, so it's fine.
I mean, it's magic is an easy answer, really.
Like, it's a Christmas film that we're picking apart. It's probably made for kids, except for, a couple of scenes where it's just, who knows?
I've got a note here, Santa the Killer. Why do I have that one?
Look, there was a couple of times in this film where I'm just like, this Santa is genuinely unhinged. Like, when he gets arrested, they go in to interrogate him, and one of the cops just starts, going ham on Santa. Because, his eyes are bulging out. It's like we've gone into, a genuine prison film for a second. And I'm just like, this is one of the few portrayals of Santa that I genuinely think could take you in a fight.
Yeah. He's not chubby, jolly Santa.
He is badass Kurt Russell.
He's Santa that will one-punch you.
Like, there is an ex-con working in a bar, he pulls a baseball bat on Santa, and I'm like, I don't think you'll win this fight.
Yeah, I mean, Santa doesn't fight him. He hightails it.
Even if, like, Santa wasn't magic, though, I feel like he would have just decked him in the bar.
Oh, but Santa also implies that ruining Christmas causes world wars, didn't he?
Oh, yeah, this is like this one line in particular. He's like, if we don't get Christmas back on track, there won't be a Christmas this year. And you don't want to know what happened last time I didn't deliver on Christmas.
Yeah, and implies that it was war.
Yeah, he started a war.
Yeah, Christmas spirit drops too low. That's how wars begin.
But,
And how, I want to know how it happened last time. Was it just Santa being incompetent, or
Santa,
did it get ruined by another kid?
Well, too many kids said they didn't believe in Santa, so then his sleigh couldn't fly. He crashed into Franz Ferdinand, killed him, and that's how the war started.
That's how World War One started. And then obviously we know that Russia then blamed the who was it again? Unimportant, but yeah, then Russia went in, and then Germany and Austria have their pack and sheep and plan, and then all of a sudden you've got a world war.
Taking this podcast off the tangent of history.
It's a history podcast now, Craig.
I barely scraped by history, let's be honest. But, yeah, so Santa's sleigh crashes, because these kids sneak up on Santa. He loses his hat, which apparently gives him the ability to fly and jump down chimneys. He loses the reindeer. So then he, like, pulls a lever in the sleigh, and wings pop out so he can glide it to a safe landing. Why doesn't he just have a parachute, or, like, a jet-propelled sleigh?
Yeah.
Like, surely, if you're going to have a safety mechanism in the sleigh, give it powered flight to ease your descent. So you're not having to, like, Captain Sully this thing into the
snowy streets of Chicago.
But no, he clips both the wings and just nosedives into the ground. Santa takes, like, a severe knock as he does it. I'm like, is the plot of this film going to be Santa's got amnesia and they've got to save Christmas?
I mean, but Santa is keeping up with the times. Like, he mentioned fake news.
Oh, that's right, he started quoting Donald Trump.
That's not what I expected in a Christmas movie, but it was there.
Because, like, people are like, if you're Santa, why aren't you fat? And he's like, that's fake news.
Yeah. And also, apparently, he doesn't say ho ho ho.
Yeah.
He gets a bit tizzy about that.
So then Santa gets up and he's like, well, I guess I better go get my stuff and get back to saving Christmas. See you later, kids. He's just...
Oh, and also, you're permanently on the naughty list.
Oh, you're for life.
Yeah, for life.
He's
Which,
like,
I mean...
Permanently for life.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah.
They almost ruined Christmas, and we know already that ruining Christmas equals World War.
But, like, the kids are like, we just travelled like 1,000 miles in 30 seconds. And Santa's like, yeah, cool, I'm off, catch you later. And Santa's just going to, like, leave them 1,000 miles from home in the middle of the night on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, and we know it's dangerous.
And so then he walks off, and he just leaves, like, his broken sleigh sitting in the middle of this open parking lot for everyone to see. And I'm like, is Santa not going to attempt to hide the evidence? Like, he pulls out, like, this jingle bell thing from his coat. I'm like, Santa's got, like, one of those grenades from Predator that just hide all the evidence.
The hide the evidence grenade.
Yeah.
The I made a big mistake grenade. Craig, how many problems in your life at the moment do you think you could solve with a grenade?
A grenade that just hid the evidence.
No, just a normal grenade.
Probably wouldn't have to pay rent. The rent's due. Well, I have a grenade.
But surely that just causes more problems.
Escalation.
It depends on if they call the police.
What are the police going to do? I have a grenade. They shoot me, I drop the grenade.
Yeah, foolproof.
So anyway, then the kids are like, okay, Santa, we messed up. We'll help you go get your reindeer. The police start chasing them.
Oh no, that's after, because they go to the bar first to try getting some help to track down these reindeer car, and obviously everyone thinks he's crazy.
Yeah.
And so they go into a restaurant, They talk to the
Maitre d'?
maitre d', that's the word I'm looking for.
Mm.
And obviously she's a bit like, who are you? And, but yeah, she gets convinced, being like, okay, no, this is really Santa, gives him all her tips.
Yep.
Uh,
She's like, can't you just like
Call
an
an
Uber? And Santa's like, I don't have an account. And she's like, well, why don't you get a taxi? I'm like, hey, waiter lady, let him use your Uber account.
Yeah, surely that's better than handing over all your tips.
Give
But-
Santa a $15 ride from your Uber rather than your entire earnings from
Wait.
that night.
Did Santa take the money?
No, he's like, I don't want it. I'll just
Oh, yeah.
borrow a car
Borrow
from
a car.
someone here.
So no one gives him a car. Some lady gets on her phone calling the police and calls in a Amber Alert, thinking that Santa has been a bit handsy.
There's like this crazy dude in a bar pretending to be Santa, and he's got 2 kids which he may have abducted.
Yeah, well, I guess he did abduct them, but they kind of got themselves into that situation.
So then the barman's like, hey, you 3, out of my bar. And he's like, oh, hey, little
You've been-
Johnny,
You've been naughty.
help me out because I know you stole that red Dodge Charger.
Yeah.
And then he's
And
just
then-
like, no, he kicks them out. So they go and
With the baseball bat. This is the baseball bat guy that we mentioned
threaten
earlier.
Santa with a baseball bat. They go and basically steal the guy's Dodge Charger from the valet.
Yeah.
But they're like, it's not stealing, we're returning it to its rightful owner.
After
Once we
used
found
it.
my reindeer.
Yeah.
And then you get like this chase scene where it's Santa and these kids in a big red Dodge Charger hightailing it from the police. And then it
Oh,
becomes this...
actually, yeah, that's a 16-year-old or 15-year-old driving.
Yep.
Whilst Santa plays around with some rubbish to make a makeshift police radio.
That's right.
Because he's the greatest toy maker ever.
He,
I
like-
mean, where, like,
he makes
where
a
is the
shiv.
humbleness?
To like open up the radio so he can get onto the police scanner frequency. Like, Santa, there's a button on the front of the radio to pop the faceplates off. You don't need to shiv the radio.
Yeah, sometimes he's on the ball, sometimes he's not. So he does that. He finds out where his reindeer are.
And then they hightail it after the reindeer, and it becomes a weird Dodge commercial where Kurt Russell's like, man, I'm used to something with a bit more go under the hood, but this Dodge handles great.
Yeah, and like I'm not a huge expert on cars, but Dodge cars, muscle cars, not really known for their handling, are they? They're known for power.
Yeah. Having said that though, I don't feel like this was like a paid promotion in the film, because they said multiple times in the film it's a 2014 Dodge. If Dodge is paying for product placement in this film, they're probably going to show you the 2018 version.
Makes sense. Or go back to the classics.
Yeah. So that was fun.
Yeah. So they spot the reindeer, and that's when the cops happen to show up, looking for this stolen car with abducted children and a bad Santa. So Santa and the Teddy, so that's the
boy's
name. So Santa and Teddy decide to make a distraction so that what was the
The
girl's
little
name?
girl whose name we cannot remember.
Kitty?
Yeah, because it was Kitty Cat and Teddy
Cat,
Bear.
Yeah. God awful names. But so yeah, well Kitty goes and gets the reindeer under control. So we get to see a great big car chase with Santa driving this time.
Yeah.
And so police chasing Santa, and they do a big jump in slow motion, and I think is that where I wrote down Killer Santa because of his menacing scream as they go through the air.
That's right. That's when it first occurred to me that this Santa is genuinely unhinged. They're like
Yeah.
Dukes of Hazzarding it through the air. And he just turns and looks at Teddy in the passenger seat and just like screams with laughter.
Oh, that's right. And Teddy, I don't think he's screaming so much because of the car being in the air, but screaming because this madman Santa is laughing at him. But obviously, gravity doing what gravity does, the car comes crashing to the ground. Wrecks the car, and the cops obviously then catch up and be like, what are you doing?
I wasn't sure if the car was wrecked or not because like it was perfectly pristine from the front. Like they had a huge snowbank, but then there was just like a little amount of steam coming off the front, so they give up trying to outrun the cops.
Yeah, I guess were they like, okay, well that's our distraction done. Kitty's surely got this handled now, getting those reindeer.
Yeah, so Kitty shows up on the reindeer.
Oh, and feeds them a candy cane.
Oh yeah,
That's another thing that bothered
this
me.
film keeps telling children to feed candy canes to reindeer.
To deer like animals.
Don't do that. You give the deer diabetes.
Publix the bear. I heard bear.
I said deer first. Beer?
Yeah.
I mean bother. Oh no, editing. Jessica, edit out all those words I just said.
Thank you, Jess. Oh yeah, so feeding reindeer candy canes. Bad idea, kids. Don't do it. Feed them, I don't know, fruit, grass.
Or just don't approach them, because they are massive animals. Like, there's this one scene where, like, the police are running after the kids on the reindeer. They're like, hey, wait, we're going to catch you. They're running in the middle of this herd of reindeer. And I'm like to Jeff, this is 12 times more dangerous than the running of the bulls. Because there's multiple deer. A bull's only got 2 points to impale you on. These reindeers have, like, 12 each.
Yeah, but I guess a bull wants to maul you, whilst a reindeer might not.
This is the sort of film where I wouldn't be surprised if someone got mauled by a reindeer. But, yeah, so Santa gets arrested. The two kids fly off to look for Santa's sack.
Yep.
Which takes them to a church. And then they have a big heart-to-heart.
Because they both realise they hadn't been to church but since their dad died. I don't know if we've even mentioned that their dad's been dead yet.
We haven't mentioned it, but
Yeah.
like I said, watch this film before you listen to this podcast.
I mean, that's one of the first things we find out. We found out that he died in a fire.
Yeah, because he was a fireman.
Yeah.
So yeah, they have this big heart-to-heart where the son's like, Dad would be disappointed in me because I steal cars and stuff.
I
And,
mean,
like,
that's fair.
call.
Like, if I was his dad, I would be disappointed.
He's got time to turn his life around. I believe. Here at Chocolate Leaf Radio, I believe people can change.
Yeah, if you haven't got that criminal record yet, you're good.
If you've got a criminal record, write on in to uglyforradio@gmail.com. But yeah, so they have a big heart-to-heart moment about, you know, bonding over their dead dad. And then the girl says this one really scary line, and I think the film's about to go all Sixth Sense on us. She's just like, I know Dad wouldn't be disappointed in you. Do you want to know how? Because I see him all the time. I'm like, where is this going? She's like, I see him all the time. In you.
And then they spot the sack. They spot Santa's sack. And they run off to get it. Teddy gets out of the tree. And then Kitty crawls into it.
Into Santa's egg,
Yes.
and it's a portal to the North Pole, where she meets the flossing minion elves. She's like,
Where they sort of tie her up. They catch her off guard and then they forcefully tie her up.
and things like they start interrogating her, but they're speaking Elvish, I think.
Yeah.
They keep saying it's Elvish. It sounds like some Norwegian dialect or something. But then, like, she has a conversation with the elves, but the elves are speaking Elvish the whole time.
Yeah, but they understand English from the things
Yeah, but
of
she
it.
doesn't understand
But
Elvish.
she doesn't understand them, and I mean, like, if they can understand English, can they speak it?
Yeah.
Surely?
It's just like a weird one-sided conversation where she keeps offering them, like, conversational prompts.
Oh, you know, then it's subtitles, obvious words, then like, oh, well, we know that one because it is that word.
That's right, like, they subtitle all the Elvish
Yeah, I think
speak
they-
so we can understand it.
Including words like Santa.
Yeah. It's
Like-
like, thank God they translated Santa, because I wouldn't have recognised that word in another language. But then we see Kurt Russell, Santa Claus, in prison. And in the background of one of those shots, I'm pretty sure I saw Adam Sandler in one of the prison cells.
I mean, what's he doing now anyway? Like, he's probably got the time.
Here's hoping, fingers crossed, Jack and Jill too.
Yes. That's what we need in the world at the moment, more Adam Sandler movies.
But then
The number of Adam Sandler movies before Donald Trump was elected president, and the number that have happened since he has been elected president,
Mate,
the correlation.
if we're going to go down this path, there have been 0 new Bionicle movies since Donald Trump became president.
Okay.
Coincidence? I think not.
So what we need to have a change of the American president is Bionicle movies.
But, yeah, so the little girl's at the North Pole. She's looking for like, what is she looking for?
She's trying to find the elves because
Yeah.
the elves know how to fix the sleigh and get
And-
all that stuff done.
But before she does that, she's just like, I think I'll just start going through all this mail.
Oh yeah,
She starts reading all the letters to Santa.
She has a little snoop and she's looking in the True Believers book and she sees that all of her family have been true believers except for her brother Teddy.
But then she finds Teddy wrote a letter to Santa this year.
Yeah.
And then she just like opens it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Kitty, opening other people's letters is a federal crime. You're
Well, I mean-
already on the naughty list for life.
Technically, it was already opened by
No.
Santa.
No, it was a sealed
Was this
envelope.
one sealed?
She tore it open.
All the other ones were open. Did he just decide, no, I'm not going to read Teddy's?
He knew what Teddy wanted for Christmas. Why was Teddy's letter not opened?
But what Teddy wanted for Christmas was to see his dad again. Well,
Speaking of the minion elves, they... Where were we? The Teddy's in the park
yeah, Teddy's in the
with
park.
Santa's sack
Yeah.
that his sister is inside. And then a bunch of like thugs come up and they're like, yo, we're gonna steal your sack. And he's just like, no, don't. And they're just like, bad things are gonna happen to you. So what's in the sack must be pretty good if you're willing to try and stop us. So then they kidnap the kid and take his sack. I'm like, why?
Yeah, just take the sack.
So they take it back to like their... Is it like a chop shop?
Yeah, I
They
think
chop up cars
it's a chop shop.
and like printing fraudulent notes or whatever. And they're like, alright, well, we're just gonna throw this bag into the furnace because it's just full of coal.
Yeah, they,
And he's like, don't do that, my sister's in there.
which I think probably throws them off a bit.
And then, just in the nick of time, the elves, like, pop out of the bag, and they start beating up all these thugs.
Yeah, whilst Teddy goes and hides because, I mean, fair enough, these hundreds of elves
Yeah.
pile out of this bag and just start attacking anyone and everyone nearby.
And then once they've cleared out the warehouse of all the thugs, then they see Teddy and they're like, oh, we missed one. And one of them, like, whips out a chainsaw and just starts advancing on him like he's about to chop his dick off.
Yeah, he then swings down in that direction.
Yeah, like, he's got him on the ground, spread-legged, and he's just walking up the inside of his leg with a chainsaw. That's one of the dark
Yeah.
moments that makes me think, is this supposed to be a children's film?
Was he laughing as he did it?
I don't know.
Or am
it
I
was-
imagining that? But, I mean, believable to think he was laughing.
This is the point of the film where it occurred to me, we see Kurt Russell in the North Pole. Is this film set in the same universe as The Thing?
Maybe.
Something to think about. Or not, because it's a
Yeah.
shit theory that I've only half developed in my own head.
I don't think I've actually watched The Thing.
Good film, watch it.
Yeah. Is that a Stephen King
I don't know.
book,
I
originally?
do know, I just can't
Yeah.
remember. Probably because it's midnight and I'm recording a podcast about Christmas films.
Oh yeah, so Santa's in jail, and he's noticed that Christmas spirit's getting a bit low. He's got this little watch which tells the amount of Christmas spirit. I just don't know the thing was given in a percentage, but, you know.
It's a nice
There's some
looking
math.
watch. But then,
So, to get Christmas spirit up, he talks to the girls in the cell over about doing some singing.
that's right. Then
and-
they bust out into this musical number
Yeah.
in the middle of the prison cell.
And they all get costumes. Santa magics up some musical instruments.
He walks over to other guys that are in the holding cell. He's just like, hey, remember the Christmas of 71? What did you get? And he's like, I got a sweet rock and roll guitar. And Santa's like, have you got that guitar on you? He's like, nah, it's in the pawn shop. I needed it to pay for my habit.
Yeah, for his drugs.
And Santa's like, that's a shame, but I understand.
Another part of the movie that's been like, oh yeah, this is a bit dark and real for a children's Christmas movie.
So then Santa's just like, okay, well, here's the exact guitar you wanted. Let's all have a jam session. And then he starts singing this really jazzy Christmas song.
Yeah.
It's a banger. I liked
Yeah.
it.
Where he asked if, what did he ask? if you're ready for Santa to come down your chimney.
It was like, I don't know if it's just because it was
And he's
Kurt
asking-
Russell, but
yeah.
the way he looked down the camera when he said that line felt very suggestive.
But when he's singing it, he was always singing it to the girls across the cell, wasn't he?
It was a very seductive Christmas carol.
Yeah. And part way through, he's like, oh, is there a piano in here? By this stage, he had a magic one up. He turns around, piano, and he starts playing a mean riff on
And
there.
he starts ripping on that piano. Like, the cell he's
He's
in...
got sunglasses now, too.
The cell he's in seems to be getting exponentially bigger with more people and more instruments
Yeah.
for this insane musical number.
And everyone's loving it.
Yeah, then...
The cops are a little bit shocked to see that these prisoners now all have musical instruments and there's a light show going on and there's more of them now.
Like, Santa's been trying to convince them all night that he's Santa Claus, and they're not having a bar of it. And then he just does this insane musical number out of nowhere, complete with light show and everything. And you can see they're like, I think I'm starting to believe. Then, like, Santa's in the interrogation room with one of the cops, and he's just like, starts pulling things out of his jacket. There's like an old Hot Wheels, an old G.I. Joe, a Snoopy astronaut figure. He's like, these are all the things you've wanted since you were a kid. I'm like, damn, that guy did not want a lot.
No.
He's got like 4 presents. He's like, these are the things you truly wanted since you were 6 years old.
I mean, he would have been a good kid. Actually, that was there. Actually, he mentioned that the 2 cops were always good kids.
And then he's like, and I know what you want this year too. You want your ex-wife to call you.
It had been 2 years as well.
And at the end of the musical number, he's like, you should probably answer that. And the cop's like, what? And then his phone rings, and surprise, surprise, it's Shanice.
Lisa. It was Lisa. But that had me thinking, does Santa have the power to manipulate people's minds and
free will.
people's actions and free will? And thinking maybe it was just a coincidence and Santa knew that she was calling. But the thing is, it's later. It's like did you do, like, what did the cop say? It's like, did you do this? And it's like, Merry Christmas. And it's like, that tells me that Santa can manipulate your free will.
Which makes it canon that Santa Claus is more powerful than God and Bruce Almighty.
I think we need a ranking, really, of power.
But
A too ugly for radio power ranking.
so right, there's 2 contenders, God and Santa Claus,
Yeah.
and Santa's winning.
Yep, so, well, God and Bruce Almighty.
Morgan Freeman, God.
Yeah, but Morgan Freeman, sick voice.
Yeah, but Kurt Russell.
Sick.
So, yeah, then Santa's just like, alright, well, I'm off. And just leaves this cop there. And I'm just like, Santa must have just completely shattered this guy's psyche.
Yeah. Well, because Santa, convinces them to let him out, so cop opens the door. But as that happens, an elf with the chainsaw from earlier in the movie.
The one he was
chops
going to
off-
use to
yeah,
chop off dicks.
That is the one, the dick chopping saw, cuts a hole in the roof, and gives Santa his hat back, and then Santa, rather than leaving through the jail cell door that the cops just opened for him, clicks his fingers, turns to red dust, and shoots off through the ceiling.
And this is about where I stopped taking notes for this film and just freeballed it.
Yeah, I stopped taking notes a long time ago. My notes ran out.
I'm going to skip ahead to the next note that I have got, which is the kids save Christmas. And
That's... Actually, no, that's not too big a skip.
then he's like, here's your Christmas gift, kids. He gives the girl nothing?
Oh no, the girl gets the skateboard.
No, remember when he's standing out on the sleigh? He's like, here you go, Teddy, you get my hat. And Teddy's like,
Oh, is
don't
that
you
for them?
need this to fly? And Santa's like, bitch, I'm Santa Claus. I can do what I want. And then he snaps his fingers and the sleigh starts to fly.
Yeah.
And that's when you're like, you did this whole thing.
Yeah, this was pre-planned and you always had the power to do magic.
Christmas was
And I
never
was
at
always-
risk.
and
You
I was-
just
yeah,
drag
well,
these kids through this.
I was already getting a little bit suspicious because Santa was magicking up things out of thin air.
Yeah.
Guitars, trumpet. Oh, and apparently he can also bestow the ability to play music on someone because
That's
he
right,
gave
that
that
one-
man the ability to play the trumpet. He's like, I don't know how to play the trumpet. And it's like, did Santa just assume that this black man can play the trumpet because he's black?
And then So yeah, it's a happy ending for the film. The little boy gets Santa's hat. The little girl, oh that's right.
Oh.
She says she wants to hear Santa say ho ho ho, which is one of the
Oh.
other fake newses about Santa.
Yeah.
And so he does. He flies off in his sleigh. He's like, I'll do it this one time. And he turns around and he points at the girl and he gives the world's most aggressive ho ho ho.
Now there's a longer pause between each one. It's like ho, ho, ho.
It felt like a threat.
Yeah, it kind of felt like he was calling them a ho,
Yes.
rather than going ho, ho, ho.
So then Mum pulls up the driveway and they're like, oh no, we didn't get Mum anything for Christmas. But at the beginning of the film, when the kids are fighting, she said, do you know what I want for Christmas this year? I just want you two to get along.
Like you used to.
And sure enough, when she pulls up the driveway, her kids are in the driveway just hugging it out.
Yeah, and then I'm like, did I just really see you guys hugging? And they're like, yeah. Like it was nothing.
So then they go inside and Santa's magically decorated their whole house.
The exact same way as the dad used to.
Yep. And there's all these presents under the tree. And first of all, the mum's like not even questioning of it. The kids are like, oh, this one's from Santa. And Mum's just like, yep. Like,
Well, I guess technically, she's a true believer, but does that mean that she's a grown-ass woman that believes in Santa?
I mean, that would
Because-
explain why she hadn't done any Christmas shopping.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so then the kids get more Christmas presents. The girl gets the skateboard she apparently said she always wanted. And the boy gets what we saw in his letter to Santa, which is he wanted to see his dad one more time. And Santa has a note for him, and it just says,
Sorry, mate, can't do that.
this is the
Get
closest thing. And it's just a Christmas bauble. And that's when I lean to Jeff and I go, I swear to God, if he looks in the Christmas bauble and he sees his reflection, and his reflection looks like his dad, and what do you think happened?
I mean, I just saw a dog.
That-
No, but yeah, no, so it's his dad in the reflection, not a dog.
So it's a happy
Get
ending
with
for the
it.
film, except for the fact that this kid, Teddy, still has a criminal record.
No, Teddy doesn't get caught.
If Teddy doesn't have a criminal record, he should have one. Like, it's implied he's been stealing cars all the time with his mates.
Yeah, but I don't think he's gotten caught.
Good.
And when he was in Chicago, he managed to escape from the police when they were arresting Santa, because he ran off and climbed himself on a flying reindeer. But, I mean, there's a lot of questions to be asked the day after, really. How many people now know that Santa exists?
I've gone silent because now I'm completely out of notes, and so I'm looking for the letter segment, which I still haven't come up with a
Wait.
name for.
The letter for the letter segment,
I have a letter segment.
like Sesame Street. The letter of the day is K for...
K-pop.
I was gonna go Ku Klux Klan.
Goodness gracious, Jeffrey.
I don't know if we want to cut that out.
And with that, that's the end of my thoughts on the film. You have anything else you want to say about it?
Santa seemed to be really bothered by the imagery of him being fat. He takes pride, I guess, in his shape and figure. Oh, we also saw Mrs. Claus.
Oh, yeah. Who I just suspected would be played by Nigella Lawson. I don't know why.
Yeah. Well,
Before we get to the letter segment,
I was going to tell the world Merry Christmas.
do you know who's on my naughty list this year, Jeff?
Who?
Mona.
Mona.
2 reasons why.
There's
First
one
of all,
veganism.
she's been on this show twice now, and she still doesn't know how to do the sign-off properly.
Oh,
But,
oh no.
But secondly,
Oh no, I might be on the naughty list.
secondly, and most importantly, I went downstairs to get the recording equipment. It was in the room you're staying in tonight.
Yeah.
She set up your bed. She walked in there, she's like, oh yeah, I'll just put down this double bed for Jeffrey. Oh yeah, on top of Craig's recording equipment. This will be a fine place to drop the bed. So I had to like crawl in there under the desk, try and lift a double bed one hand, and tug the recording equipment out with the other.
I mean, that's fair reason to be on the naughty list.
Safe to say the Yule time is not gay. And with that, we're moving on to the letter segment. Today's letter comes from Phil. Phil says, this is on, is there an elevator inside Venom? The last episode you were in, Jeff. And judging by the quality of this episode, the best episode you've been in.
I mean, there was a bit more content.
The link is in the description, and if it's not, it should be.
Yeah.
I stumbled upon this while searching YouTube for ASMR movie reviews. Have to admit that I have not seen Venom, but after Mona's synopsis I feel like I neither have or should. Great podcast with great content and a few viruses. Keep up the good work. P.S. Joffrey sounds hot.
I mean, he's not wrong.
He has absolutely butchered the spelling of your name. Geoffery.
Hold on. What? Oh no.
Yep.
That's bad.
Um,
Philip, you're on my naughty list.
There was a couple of ASMR moments from the last podcast.
Yeah.
You opening that can.
Oh, I wanted to open up another one tonight. I wanted to be my trademark.
We've already cracked all our gold ones tonight, though, haven't we?
Yeah.
Got a couple.
Unless I steal one of those Red Bulls.
You'd stay away from my Red Bulls.
I mean, I can replace it.
We played Secret Santa earlier today. Jeff gave me, was it 12 Red Bulls?
Might have been more. Was it 8? Is there 8 in that
Jeff
bigger
gave
box?
me $20 worth of Red Bull. And that's why we're up at this hour recording podcasts. I think the other
Hold on,
ASMR elements in the last episode came from the fact that I put the microphone in the fruit bowl.
I'm going to mimic opening a can. That's going to be close enough.
That reminds me of that cheese soda water. It's like, the water that is as refreshing as the sound it makes when you open it. Gee. There you go, Phil. That's all just for you. Put that on loop. Use it as your ringtone. Use it as a white machine noise to go to sleep to. Say hi to Ryan for me.
Hi, Ryan.
Not you. If you have any questions about the quality control of this podcast, feel free to write in, comment on the video down below. You can find it on YouTube or SoundCloud. You probably already know that since you're listening to it.
One listener.
I'll have you know I have 20 subscribers and I'm only related to like a quarter of them.
So, what percentage of your hometown do you think you're related to?
Oh, let's not do that, man. You can also follow the show on Facebook and Instagram. I've got a Twitter, but it's debatable whether or not it's worth following.
I'm going to say follow me on Instagram, but I'm going to not give my Instagram handle again like I did the first time.
I think that about wraps it up.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks for listening. I've been Craig.
And I've been Jeff.
And as always...
The ending is now.
Say it with me, Jeff, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Peace!
Peace. That's right, that's how it goes.